So let me invite you to move to a chair. And it's best to use a chair that doesn't have wheels. If this is your first time and that's all you've got, then that's fine. You know, we start where we are, you use what you have, but just pay attention. Pay attention to your balancing in the chair. Don't go too far back in the chair. Don't go too far forward in the chair. This is like amateur hour when you see the recordings.
Right. Totally.
Right. Right, but people can at least do it at their own convenience. So anyway, coming to a seated posture, feeling your body here, is feeling your feet on the floor, maybe tapping your feet a couple of times, scrunching your toes, pressing into the floor, just sort of waking up, letting your back be long, pulling your chin in a little bit. Just taking a couple of breaths here, a couple of deep breaths. Letting go of the out breath and feeling your body, just feeling your body here in this posture. You know, moving your arm a little, sort of flapping your arms sort of slowly. And just to move your shoulders, your elbows, moving your hands, maybe in big figure eights. Just moving little joints, stretching your hands out and then making a fist, stretching your hands, making a fist, making a loose fist and turning circles in one way and then the other. All right, great, great. And then rolling your shoulders. So doing backward rolls with the shoulders, kind of one and then the other. And if you want, leaning into it, pausing and then going in the other direction. And just feeling the movement, feeling the whole shoulder girdle. So your collarbones, your scapulas, your shoulder blades, just that whole shoulder area moving, coming to stillness, and then pulling your shoulders back. So it's like you're pulling your elbows back behind you. We're bringing the shoulder blades to one another, letting your neck be relaxed, letting your shoulders relax down and back. And then raising one hand and then the other overhead just to stretch sort of at an angle, if that works for you. Stretching up and then over to the side, leaning into it a little bit. I have a lot of shoulder pain, but I find that if I move my hand up the center of my body, then it doesn't hurt. So just going from one side to the other. One hand and then the other, lifting it up, stretching, bringing that down, and then doing this side to side, but keeping the hands and the arms sort of parallel to the floor. So just reaching in front of the body, one side and then the other. You're feeling
That's a good one.
Stretch the arm, the side of the body, right? I always am surprised, like, oh man, how did that part get so tight?
That's great.
And then rounding the back, rounding the back and just letting yourself relax here. And then straightening the back and pulling the elbows back and letting the back be a little bit arched, looking up toward the ceiling, taking a deep breath. And then as you breathe out, rounding the back, the hands in front of you. Another in-breath, a big in-breath, looking up toward the ceiling. And once again, rounding, breathing out, and then coming back. It's coming back to a seated posture. Feeling inside the body again, just feeling the aliveness. You know, there are areas maybe that are feeling warm. You might notice the breathing or the heart rate. Coming back to paying attention to the feet, just stepping in place. You know, as we're here, just stepping in place. A place. Coming to stillness. And again, just feeling that aliveness in the body. Noticing how that feels, the breath. Let me invite you to stand up. And if you have a light chair, it's nice to have a chair that you can move around easily. I got one like Jessie's because hers looked like it was so easy to move, just to have a metal folding chair. But whatever you're using, sometimes we sit in them, sometimes we use them as a prop. So here, just leaning against the chair and leaning against the back of the chair. You can lean against the seat of the chair, lean against the wall. Stepping back a little bit, and then letting your hips come back a little bit more. And just pausing here, just feeling that sort of that opening in the low back, letting your knees be soft. So bending your knees a little bit, and then turning the back sideways, turning your head over one shoulder as if you're looking back toward your tail, and then going in the other direction. And just slowly going from side to side. You're letting the knees be soft, leaning into this a little bit, and coming to stillness and pressing down with your hands. So pressing down on the chair as you slowly walk back in, pressing down, slowly coming back to standing. And then from here, bouncing. So you're bouncing with using your legs, not lifting your heels off the floor, nothing really percussive. And then just moving from side to side, a gentle twisting while still doing this bouncing, moving the head and the shoulders in big circles in one direction and in the other while continuing to do this bouncing. It helps to move every joint, just this little movement. All right, coming to stillness. The breath, and we're ready to go.
All right, we good, everybody? Everybody cool? So there's a little warm up. To some, it might feel like cardio. You make it what you want it to be, okay? If you're already loose, if you're already been stretching and stuff, let's get feet together and palms together. And we're gonna step out side to side. These are seal jacks, okay? So think about your posture, chest out, shoulders back. Keep feet parallel with each other. Do about 20 seconds. 5 more. And we're breathing. All right, finish that one up. Arms up. We're gonna do a high knee and opposite elbow draw down, okay? So drive that elbow down towards your hip and your knee up towards your head. If you're not there yet, that's fine, just lift your foot. We're working on balance, coordination, tone, strength. About 5 more seconds. Last one. Good. Arms out, feet out. We're just going to turn slightly to the side, go towards the opposite kneecap. You don't have to touch down. We're just getting that low back loosened up. core activated. Bring that arm behind you, nice and high. Get a nice chest stretch, okay? You should feel that in your shoulders and in your chest. You might feel a little out of breath coming up. Break a little sweat. One more each side. No one should start a workout cold, okay? To reduce the chance of injury. All right, I'm gonna go to the side so I can show you the hip hinge. We're gonna go back with the hips. Notice my knees aren't locked, my legs aren't locked, but they're not bent either, okay? So just a natural bend. Arms out, and we're gonna swim. Come back up, hips back, swim. Get a nice shoulder stretch. Keep that back straight, belly button pulled in. Hamstring stretch, feels good in your calves too. But you know what? You're also working on ankle mobility. And we've talked about this before, how important that is to prevent falls. Let's get one more. Good. I'm going to use the chair as a prop for the squat. So similar to the hinge that we just did with the hip, now we are going to bend our knees, okay? So the hip goes back, just like we just did, but we're going to bend the knees. Let's have our arms straight out, okay? Just to challenge our posture and balance and coordination. And it makes it a little bit harder too, if you've noticed. If you keep it close to you, it's not as challenging. So wherever you are at today, I'm just trying to show you tools to fill your toolbox. It's easy to get a nice 15, 20-minute workout by using what we do here in class. Just pick the ones that work for you. Let's get one more. Good. All right, you think we're ready for planks? We can't forget them today. I saw Marianne. All right, let's grab a drink of water. And we'll do some planks that use the lower body and upper body. We were talking at the beginning of class about progressing from the wall to a lower surface all the way down to the floor. If you're interested in any of that, let me know. I'd love to work with people that are getting stronger about how their posture should look. We're not going to get on the floor, but this is a great progression to go downwards. So it's less stress on your back up here. And then when your form gets better, you can move down towards the floor. Okay, just an advanced move. So the solid plank is shoulders over wrists. I got my feet back, I'm rolling on my toes. Now let's go in with the knee, back to neutral, then go back behind you. Okay, we're activating our glutes and our core. Stay on the same leg. Eyes should be down. About 5 more seconds and we'll switch sides. So crunch in with your knee and then pull up with your heel. Great for hips. All right, I'm going to switch legs and do the same. Try to keep your hips from wobbling. You can do that by squeezing your glutes, pulling in your belly button. Let's get one more each. Good. Go ahead and walk it in. I'm going to face you for the next one so you can see what I'm doing with my upper body. My lower body is the same. I'm on my toes. I got a nice line between my hips, my ankles, hips, and shoulders. But now we're going to do some upper body stuff, okay? So you're going to be on one arm for a second here. Pull back and do a row. Straighten it back out. Press firmly on the one hand that the opposite of the one you're going to move. Make sure you're steady and go ahead and pull back on the other arm. Don't do this fast. Let's get one more each side. Good. Go ahead and walk it in. Shake it out. These planks are great for the core, your shoulders, actually your whole body, like Mary was saying earlier. If you're doing them right, you're squeezing pretty much every muscle in your body. All right, so now we're going to go tap to the sides. Now, if you feel you're losing form and your hips are all dipping and your back's starting to hurt, go ahead and walk it in a little bit, just a little modification to make it easier on your back, or go to a wall, okay? But the important thing is that you're keeping everything tight. Let's do one more each side and walk it in. Let's get one more upper body. We're gonna tap the opposite shoulder. So again, you're gonna be on that one arm again for a little bit. So make sure you're solid on that side before you lift up. Watch for those hips sagging and watch for going like this, okay? So keep those glutes nice and steady. About 5 more seconds. Last one for me. And we'll walk it in. Good job. Yep. I'll let everybody finish. Good. I know my lighting in here is a little weird this time of day. Sorry. I know, baby. Okay, so we are going to use, let's get some bands. I like to keep consistent with some bands. We'll just do major body parts as a review. Bands are great because they can be used as a stretch or a strength. And they're good for pretty much everybody, okay? It's great for range of motion, okay? Keep everything close to the center. And I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, I'm stepping on one end. I got the other end wrapped around my hand. And I got my palms in a fist towards my face, okay? So nice and tall. And when I say keep everything close to the middle, I mean your arm, right? Haven't you ever like lifted something out like this away from your center and it starts to hurt? So go ahead and keep everything nice and close. You can even keep your fingers on your elbow, just as a guide, just as a cue to yourself. And we're gonna switch in about 3, 2, 1. Step on the other side, same thing. Straight up. We'll do about 15 seconds again on this one. If it hurts you to go overhead, okay, I'm just going to show a little modification. We're still working shoulders. We're just going to go to the front, okay, if you're having a hard time with the shoulder. Last one, down. Yep, or like Teri's doing, don't use anything at all. Don't use any resistance. All right, we'll go to the lower body. Can you guys see my cat right there?
Your cat? No.
She's right in front of me. That's why I'm all hugging the wall. Okay, I have my legs in a staggered stance, so one's in front of the other. I'm going to hinge at my hips just a little bit. I'm going to keep my arms in an L, so my elbows are bent. And then I'm going to come down, straight, elbows back, straight down, elbows back. I'm going to do this for about another 5 seconds. So that's our row. Last one. Good. So that gets your upper back really good. So we did shoulders back. Now we'll do lower body. We'll get into the edge of the chair and do a squat. I'm stepping on the middle. I'm holding at the ends. I'm keeping my arms at an L and I'm pushing up. This is a nice power move. This is great for people that are trying to get some walking in. Does not have to be fast. You go at your own pace for these 20 seconds, okay? Five to go. Last one. Good. We have time for one more. We'll get our biceps. We haven't done our biceps yet. Again, I'm going to step in the middle with one foot, and that's because my band isn't long enough. You can certainly, if you have a long band, stand on it normal. But I'm going to just curl up. So fist towards front of the shoulders, back nice and straight. A staggered stance is also good for balance, right? So I get a wall handy in case I get wobbly. About 5 more seconds of this. Last one. Okay. Now we're going to go for water bottles or weights. Most of you have seen this one before. I'm going to do a side view so you can see the hinge. So these exercises are going to mimic the ones we did in the warm-up. So your body will recognize, hopefully, the movement patterns. So I got my feet about shoulder width apart, my arms straight in front of me. Hips go back, come up towards the center, and then split like a Y. Okay, let me face you now. Hips back, up through the center, at about chin level, go ahead and split. We'll go for about 30 seconds. This one isn't meant to be fast. I just want you to get a few more of them, okay? We got 10 more seconds. That's a couple more repetitions. All right, make this one your last. And we're going to repeat the circuit anyway. So we're going to do the workout twice. All right, here's another balance challenge. Okay, we're all trying to get better at this. Teri's made huge improvements. I think she's been practicing all day, every day. But we're gonna watch me first, okay? You're gonna reach forward, lift the back foot up, and then you're gonna go, and you don't have to go down into a deep squat. I'm gonna show you another version, okay? Back foot goes up, and go ahead and just split those legs like you've been doing with the other exercises. So lean forward, step back, and you can go down if you want. If not, just come back up, okay? And we'll switch in about 5 seconds. So I'm gonna make this my last. I'm gonna go to the other leg. You can certainly use a chair for balance, okay? And just modify it. You can go like this, back, and down a little bit. Learning new things, especially with balance, gets us out of our comfort zone. But when it's time, I mean, nobody plans tripping and falling either, right? So the more you build yourself up with balance exercises, the less chances you're going to fall. Let's make this the last one. Nice. Okay, let's have the chair back. And let's do some upper body now. All right, so I'm gonna sit on the edge. I'm gonna lean back just a little bit. And I'm gonna come together at about face level. Okay, you're not going up overhead like a shoulder press. It's a chest fly. Bring it down nice and slow. Come together. And leaning back is just more of a challenge for your core. You can certainly sit up straight and do the same thing. Got about 5 more seconds, so I'm going to get one more after this. You guys can go ahead and finish. Okay, so make sure your area is clear because now we're going to go side to side. Weights in each hand. All right, so I'm going to do 2 versions of this one too. I'm going to do a side step or lunge with a bicep curl. So if you want to just, if your knees are bothering you, you can just do a side step and come back in. If you want to go to a lunge, one leg stays straight and the other bends at the knee. You want to keep your feet parallel with each other. It's better for your knees, okay? So don't have your toes pointing out at 2 o'clock. Keep them even. And you want your body to land right over that other thigh, okay? Don't keep it in the center, right over it. About 10 more seconds. One more each side. Good. Time. Okay, back to the chair. I'm going to use one dumbbell this time just because the things are long and it keeps hitting me in the legs. So a nice wide foot stance at the edge of the chair. We're going to go into a squat to stand, and then we're going to do an upright row. This can be done with 2, of course, but I just don't want it hitting each one of my thighs because they're so long. Right up the middle, stand up nice and tall, go at your own pace. Got about 10 more seconds. Eyes are forward, not at the floor. That way your back will stay nice and straight. Make this one the last one, wherever you're at. Good. Okay, I'm gonna get a little closer because this is just an upper body. And a lot of you might not have seen me do it before. So it's just to get close, okay. So I got my elbows out and up. I got my weights in the middle, right here. And I'm gonna just press out, make my arms, make my body like a T. Good. Slow and controlled. Yep, so we're working the back of our upper arm, our triceps. Don't forget about your upper body posture, right? Core is tight. Nice wide base of support in your stance. Eyes forward. Let's get about 5 more good seconds. Keep those elbows up. Last one. Good. Slowly bring it down. Let's get some water. How's everybody doing? Thumbs up. Still at it, right? Good job. We're missing a nice day out there. I went to the mailbox. I was like, God, it's nice out, huh?
It is beautiful.
Okay. I got a weight in each hand. So I'm going to go through it this time. The flow of it's going to seem a little bit quicker. We're still going to do 30 seconds, but there's going to be less of me jibber-jabbering, okay? So you can go at the intensity you want. Keep your form always in mind. Keep your area nice and cleared out because it's going to feel like a workout, okay? So I'm going to do 2 angles on most of them just so you can see my form. Hinge in a Y. Ten more seconds. Last 5. One more. Good job. let's get a nice stretch. So you've seen Teri do this at the beginning of the class. I totally love it. You can do it at the edge of the chair or a wall, whatever you have handy, a desk, whatever. The point is that you're stretching out your upper back and the back of your arms, the two muscle groups that we just worked out, as well as the back of your hamstrings and low back, which we also just worked out. So think about it when you're stretching. Ask yourself what body part just got tightened by using it for a strengthening exercise, meaning that you're going to have to loosen it back to normal with a stretch. All right, go ahead and walk it in. We want to keep our heart rate at a good increased level so we can make the most out of the exercise, right? And be more efficient. So I'm going to move my area here. I'm going to do the warrior step back or lunge, okay? I'm going to do 20 seconds on each leg, okay? Lean forward, step back, down. Or you can just step back just like this, okay? It's more of a balance exercise and a little hip mobility, knee mobility. Five more seconds and we'll switch. Go ahead and switch it up. Other leg. Reach back. Ten more seconds. Whoa. I'm going to make this my last. Good. Talk about being mindful of your step, right? So that could come handy in a crowd, wouldn't it? I'm going to grab my chair. We're going to do the seated chest flies now, okay? Pick a weight that's comfortable for you to use for 30 seconds. You can lean back to challenge your core if your low back is agreeing with you today. If not, sit up straight. Time's going to start in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and meet in the middle. Right about nose level, okay? I don't want it over your head. When you bring it back nice and slow. Ten more seconds. 5. Last ones. Good. Let's get our stretches. So since you guys are already in the chair, we just worked the chest, so now we want to stretch it, right? So we tightened this muscle. Now we're going to pull away from it to loosen it up as best we can. Not a terribly long hold. Just a couple recovery breaths just to get composed for the next exercise. Switch arms, lean away from it. These can also be done on the wall, of course. All right, let's go to the lateral lunge. So we're going to go side to side. You can step or get the bend in the knee. I'll show both ways. My feet are together, my arms are down to the sides. When I step, I'm going to bring my hands up to make a bicep curl, bend at the elbows, okay? So step and lunge, pull up and curl. Keep those feet parallel. So if you don't want to go into the lunge, just step out. Keep your body in the middle and separate your feet, okay? Keep that back straight so your eyes need to be forward towards the screen. Keep going, you're about halfway. Five more seconds. One more side. Good. You can do this seated or standing, but we're just gonna get a nice stretch. So I'm gonna put my hands behind my back and pull down. If you can't do that, just do one side at a time. I just want you to get the biceps, so the top part of the front arm. So you can use a chair to push against or a wall. And get the other side. Now let's get our lower body. So we went side to side. We use the inside of our thighs. Push against the inside of your knee with your elbows. Okay. Just spread your kneecaps out. Keep your feet the same. Couple breaths. And if this feels good on your low back, you can always shimmy side to side if that helps you. Use this time to recover. Come on up. We're gonna get in the chair still. I'm gonna get one weight this time. You guys can use two. I'm gonna sit to stand and then row up the middle. So nice and wide, shoulder blades back. I'm gonna push through my heels, up the middle, and don't get your elbows way up here by your ears. Keep it with your collarbone, okay? So the time's going. Got about 20 seconds left. Halfway. Got time for two more. Good, good. So that one, of course, work the upper shoulders and back, and also your legs. So I like doing this one for my shoulders because you can move it up and down and get those little fibers that surround your shoulder joint. So find a nice spot where you feel it needs to be stretched, whether your arms high or low, and hold. Yeah. And then go ahead and switch. And then we'll get at the front of our thighs. So the front of our thighs, of course you can do it standing. Not everybody can do that. So we show you at the edge of the chair. It would look like this. Okay, so you have options. We're just showing you the most in the middle one, okay? My knee is pointed down towards the ground. My foot's behind me and I'm leaning back just a little, okay? So it would look like this if you were up. Now you're just down. Go ahead and switch. One more breath. We're almost done. One more exercise, and then Teri's gonna cool us down. Okay, so now we're gonna do our tricep press outs, okay? I'll get a little bit closer. I got lighter weights. I don't want too much stress on my shoulders here. Elbows up, hands in the middle, and go ahead and make a T. Slow. Good job, you guys. Yep, arms up. Coming up on halfway. These will help your planks a lot too. 5 more seconds. Let's get one more. Oh, awesome. All yours, Teri.
Hey, all right, thank you. That was great. Okay, so as we're standing here, just sort of bouncing, going back to this bouncing where we ended the getting ready to exercise, and just moving, sort of twisting from side to side a few times, just gentle bouncing, letting your head and your shoulders roll big circles, letting your head feel a little bit heavy. There's a little bit of traction in the neck, going in the other direction. All right, coming to stillness. And then using the back of the chair, the same prop that we have been using for the planks. And standing a little bit back, but pressing down. So pressing down with your hands, feeling the muscles of the arms engaged, and continuing to press down as you step back a little bit, letting your knees be soft, letting your hips come back, bending one knee, then the other, sort of like you're walking, but just feeling this sort of rotation in the hips and the pelvis, dropping down one side and then the other, continuing to press down with your hands. Coming to stillness, rounding the back, and then arching the back a little bit. Continuing to press down as you walk back, walking back to the chair. And that's just a great move to do if you've been doing something, exercising or trying to clip overhead branches. You know, if you've done something and your shoulders are really sore, just that pressing down and moving back forward can help with that a lot. So just moving your hands, moving your arms, bringing your hands together, clasping your fingers and stretching your hands out, maybe stretching them overhead as if you're stretching up toward the ceiling. Oh, a little bit of moving from side to side. And letting the hands come down and then down at an angle to the side with your palms facing back and just pulsing your hands back, letting your shoulders be relaxed away from the ears, opening the back of the shoulders here, letting your weight come to one foot, picking up the heel of the other foot, and just turning circles with your foot one way and then the other. You're going to feel this movement again in your knees, your hips, going to the other side. Moving your foot one way and then the other. And coming back to seated. Flat on the floor. Just doing one exercise to sort of keep the belly strengthened a little bit and tightened a little bit. So with your hands on your thighs, pressing down, pressing your hands down, moving your chest and shoulders toward your thighs as you're pressing back. So really it's your chest and shoulders moving down, using your hands to push yourself back. So you're not going to be moving too much, but you're engaging your core to move your chest down, and you're engaging your arms to push back, letting go, and a breath, and just feeling that. So you're going to feel this sort of engaging the biceps, engaging the belly, and just once again, pressing your chest down, pushing your chest away. Just feeling those muscles engaged. And then letting go of that and leaning back a little, looking up toward the ceiling, letting the back arch a little. We're just stretching these stomach muscles, but they'll still stay tight, which is good because that's how we protect our back, by strengthening our front. Just sort of moving from side to side, staying in the same plane, so not bending forward. Taking a couple of deep breaths, maybe with a sense of appreciation for yourself, for the time that you've just taken to get stronger and more balanced and more flexible.